Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation GoldenEye, turn 1.1, Germany. It is July 1936. Germany has 4 tech roles. They have 3 major factories, but they also have the special ability technological superiority, which gives them an extra tech role. That's why I have 4. I'm going to be rolling for advanced mechanized infantry, jet fighters, wartime economy, and improved factories. I'm using PBE. We'll submit and see what results I get. Oh, it's really thinking. Okay, so for my advanced mechanized infantry, I succeed with an 11. For jet fighters, I fail with a 1. For wartime economy, I succeed with an 11. For improved factories, I fail with a 4. So, perfectly average. I succeeded with advanced mechanized, I succeeded with wartime economy. On the board with 2. Next, let's do purchases. I have 20 IPPs to spend. I'm going to purchase an airborne infantry for 3. I'm going to upgrade that medium factory in eastern Germany up to a major factory, that's 6, so a total of 9. And I'm going to lend-lease a fighter to the Spanish nationalists, that's 10, so that's 19, I'll save 1. The destroyer and submarine that you see there are from my place units box. I brought them over so that I don't forget them. And then the Spanish nationalist infantry that you see is a nudge to me to remember to do my recruitment roll and see if I actually get that unit. Combat movement. Let's swivel the camera over a bit and zoom out. Okay, so you can see these little boxes that I have here in Bavaria, Bohemia, Slovakia, and they're just little reminders so I don't have to look up the rule. It's kind of different how the annexations occur between Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary, how the Russians might annex the Baltic states if they had signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, and how these 3 territories are annexed. So I have these little boxes that I've printed up exactly what the rules are that you walk in with a unit during the combat movement phase. So I'm going to take an infantry from Bavaria and I'm going to move it into Austria. Of course you choose Austria because it's worth 2 IPPs. Whoops, I've got Bohemia there. Austria's right here. So then I open my box and it has the rondel that I do to capture that, and it has the units that are there, which is 2 infantry. So I'll just chip that out and put 2 infantry in Austria. And then I'm going to move Germany up from 20 up to 22 on the chart. And then I'll be ready in my future turns to open those boxes as well. My next combat movement is over here in Spain. We'll need to zoom out a bit for that. Okay, so I don't need to zoom out that much because it's all involving Leon Castile and Asturias-Navarre. So everything that's in Leon Castile is going to move in. 1 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 cavalry, 1 fighter. All 4 of those units here are going to move into Asturias-Navarre and attack the 1 infantry there. And that is all my combat movement for this turn. So the only combat that we need to roll is the combat there in Spain. And Asturias-Navarre is mountainous terrain. I think I need to zoom out a little bit to capture the top of that in case the roll ends up on that end. Okay, so it's mountainous terrain, which drops my artillery, infantry, and cavalry down 1. The infantry gets boosted up to 3, but it gets dropped down like the others to 2. All 3 of them are at 2. And the defending infantry's at 4. Of course, my fighter is not affected. So the first thing is a first strike artillery, a 1 or 2, he doesn't get to fire back. I'd really like to hit here. And I do. Okay, great. I'm off to a really lucky start. That's what I like. Because it sucks if you lose a unit here, because it makes it a lot more likely that he can counterattack. But I think he's probably not going to counterattack. Let's go to non-combat movement. We'll swing over here to C-Zone 15, where there's a German transport there, and it's going to pick up 2 infantry from East Prussia and drop them off in Eastern Germany. So Eastern Germany will have 4 infantry and a militia. And soon it's going to have a major factory. Then I'm going to move all of the units that are in this task force marker, which is a cavalry, a light armor, an artillery, and an anti-aircraft artillery. They'll move from Berlin over to Eastern Germany. And all the units that are on this task force marker, which is 2 infantry, a fighter, and a tactical bomber, they will move over to Western Germany. From Western Germany, I'm going to take this artillery and move it over to Eastern Germany. That way, all my artillery, both my artillery, are in Eastern Germany. And just to review for my opponents, what I have in Bavaria is a mountain infantry and an air transport. What I have in Western Germany is 4 infantry, 2 fighters, a tactical bomber, and a medium bomber. All right, now another non-combat move. I'm going to take this torpedo boat destroyer from C-Zone 13. I'm going to move it over to C-Zone 15 and join my other units. So now I have 2 torpedo boat destroyers there in C-Zone 15. All right, now we're going to swing down to Spain for some non-combat movement. You know, I had been thinking about getting this heavy cruiser involved in my movement here off Spanish Morocco and C-Zone 79. I thought about picking up the infantry and artillery, carrying them up to C-Zone 33 to get the bombardment. It's only 1 shot at 2, but I was really hoping to up my first strikes and increase the odds that I killed that infantry on the first round. But I couldn't figure out a way to do this. I'll be interested in people posting comments below. If I pick up, I'm going to pick up these 2 and carry them up to C-Zone 33. But let's say that I just dropped off what's going to happen to my opponents is I'm going to drop off that infantry and artillery in Leon Castile. Sorry to go off on a tangent here, my friends. But what I wanted to know is, could I have dropped off the infantry in Asturias-Navarre? Because then that would have unlocked the potential for this heavy cruiser to do a bombardment. But how could I then drop off this artillery in Leon Castile in non-combat movement? The reason I say I don't think I could do that is because I picked up that artillery during the combat movement phase. I don't think you can move, clearly you cannot move both in the combat. A unit can't move in the combat and non-combat movement phase. That would be illegal. So then I wondered, could I drop off this artillery into Leon Castile during combat movement? And basically, I just don't think it was a legal move. I didn't want to bring this transport up and drop off the infantry and artillery in Asturias-Navarre, because if he had hit with his infantry, and there was a 1/3 chance, barring my first strikes missing, 1/3 chance of me taking a hit, then I would have to take 2 amphibious assaulting units, and I would have lost my artillery as well. So, long sidetrack, that's why I did it the way I did it. This fighter from Asturias-Navarre is going to go back and land in Leon Castile. So in Asturias-Navarre, I have an infantry, an artillery, and a cavalry. In Leon Castile, also Andalusia is going to move up 1 to Leon Castile. So Leon Castile has 2 infantry in artillery, and 1 fighter. And that concludes my non-combat movement. All right, strategic rail movement, none. Strategic naval movement, none. Placement of units. 1 airborne infantry is going to be placed in Bavaria with that air transport. The medium factory that's in eastern Germany is going to be replaced with a major factory. And this Lend-Lease fighter for the Spanish nationalists will leave West Germany, travel down to Leon, Castile, and land there. I will place the German destroyer and submarine in Sea Zone 15. Okay. That is the end of my placement of units phase. Spanish nationalist recruitment roll. I have 1 roll at 3 to see if I recruit. I have 3 territories. That's why it's a 1, 2, or 3. Let's see what happens. Fail. Okay, well, all in all, it's a good turn. I could have easily lost a unit in Astoria, Navarre. Collect income phase. I am at 22 on the chart. I saved 1. So Germany is at 23 IPP. Next up is Madman Dan with turn 1.2, USSR.